Hello, Serious Survivor here. I hope everyone's having a good night. How's everybody doing tonight? Mr. Gas, how you doing? Aaron, good to hear.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Serious
Glad you're
Survivor
doing
here.
good.
I hope everyone's having a
All right. Excuse my double echo there. All right, tonight I wanted to talk about a few things, but I want to talk about a couple things before we get started on it. Some of the things we're going to talk about tonight are our nuclear capabilities versus the capabilities of the rest of the world. And this is something that, it's not necessarily going to affect us today, but should society keep continuing, then this is something that's going to impact us greatly in the next 2 to 3 years at the bare minimum. We're going to see a lot from this. I also want to talk tonight about Oklahoma and the new laws they passed, which caused their courthouse to get stormed. Well, I hate to use the word stormed, but to get, protested against, rioted, whatever you want to say today. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about defunding the police. And defunding the police is going to tie into what I want to talk about with the new types of vetting for the military that they're talking about. Anybody that's in the military, I was in the military. I served with the EOD mobile unit. So, I went through some serious vetting myself for that position. And anyone does who goes through a position like that and who goes into the military, you go through a background check and all this good stuff. But at the same time, what we're seeing now being implemented is not a vetting for security reasons. It's a vetting for political reasons. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. First things first, I want to talk about the giveaway last time. The giveaway last week there was a winner who actually gave the correct number before I saw it, and I gave the prize to someone else. So I would like to say to Ashley Banks, that's your YouTube name, Ashley Banks. If you're watching tonight, please send me a message at survivor@serioussurvivor.com, and you will get the prize. You will get a prize because I somehow overlooked that message. Yours came in first. Your number came in first, but I missed that, and I want to make that right with you. So, Ashley, make sure to comment or to email me. I'll put my email up later. I don't see you in the in the comment section yet, but when I do see it, I'll point that out. All right. And tonight we're going to have another giveaway, but it's going to be a little different tonight. Tonight we're going to be giving away this right here, and this is a Johnson & Johnson 140 piece. Let me get my camera angles right. 140 piece first aid kit. I have not opened this. This is one of the ones I purchased recently with my HSA, so I wouldn't lose that money. And I want to give this away because I got a lot of first aid. I got a hospital here, and I want to give this away to somebody tonight. So y'all stick into the you stick around to the end of the broadcast, and somebody will be getting that, and it'll go out pretty soon. I'm going to be going back down to South Carolina this week. Thank goodness. I'll be leaving Wednesday and headed that way. And it's going to be. I'm going to split it up in 2 days. I'm going to stop and stay in a motel Wednesday night, and then make the rest of the drive Thursday. But I really look forward to being back home. Sure do miss my family. I miss my wife. I miss my kids. I miss everybody down there. And I want to be back down to Carolina as soon as I possibly can. And that's going to be Wednesday or Thursday for me. So I'll be doing some live streams. I got some really good products that I purchased. These are not paid reviews. So some of them might be negative. Or as negative as I can be without getting sued on here. But one of the things I'm going to be reviewing is a new type of magazine that came out for a 1911 on the market. I mean, these have been around for a while, but this is a newer company that is making the 17-round magazine for your standard 45 ACP 1911. And I love the 1911, so I'm going to be putting this through some rigorous testing. I'm going to be putting several hundred rounds of ammo through 2 of these mags. I've got 2 of these mags, and this is what they look like when you put them in your pistol. Like that right there. And as you can see, standard 1911 with the extended mag. So I'm going to be reviewing that, and the ones I've used in the past have been pretty good. So hopefully this company stands up to the reputation of the other ones, or to the, what we expect from the other ones that we've seen in the past. Save yourself. Avoid Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Yes. From what I saw on the news today, I haven't, just like anybody else out there, I'm not privy to any information you're not. But they said the family today was allowed to watch 20 seconds of the body cam footage from only one police officer. And it didn't go well. It did not go well at all. So we can expect a lot there. I don't know what went down, and I'm not going to even comment on whether it was, justified or not. I don't know, but I do know this, is that as long as a couple of people, think it's not justified, then we're going to see a lot of things go down there. And that area of North Carolina is not exactly the safest area in the world anyway. And what I mean by that is their crime index rating, and not throwing off on nobody, but I'm just saying it is what it is. If it's a high crime area, it's a high crime area. And we can expect to see something happen there. They've already declared a state of emergency right now in that city for tonight, or in that area for tonight. And I expect that to expand through the weekend. And I'll be, wow, now that I think about it, I'm actually going to be traveling down through near that area on my way back to South Carolina Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So we'll see what happens, I reckon. Maybe I'll have some firsthand footage for y'all. Yeah, those mags, I picked it up. It was I'm trying to think exactly what I paid for it. I think it was about $45 I paid for that mag. And which to me is not, these days, is not too terrible of a price. A year ago, 2 years ago, that was a horrible price. But these days, $45 for a mag, especially an extended mag for a 1911, is not too bad of a deal. All right. Some other things that I will be also reviewing is one thing that I found particularly cool. And it's this little triangular plate that has 3 holes in it. And it allows you to, as long as you can find 3 sticks in the woods, then this plate will be able to triangulate them sticks, or to be able to stand them upright by placing it on the top of them and hanging your cooking pot from below it. So I want to cook some food or boil some water, something like that, from this. And I think this is really a good addition to anybody's wilderness survival kit. Urban survival kit, maybe, but wilderness survival kit, this is definitely something you might want to look into. And I didn't pay but like $12 for it. So I'll be providing links with that. Also, a survival tent. I'll be doing a review of a survival tent. And what was presented to me as a survival hammock. And I guess we'll see what this survival hammock does too, and a hammock only does so much. But I actually look forward to using that hammock out there in the warm South Carolina weather next week. Might be pretty fun. Take a nap or something. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I really hope everybody's having a great day out there. It's Monday, and for Monday, for me, it's been a pretty good day. I know I'm going on vacation in 2 days, or a day and a half. Pretty excited about that. Get back home, and that's gonna be nice. Oh, Dr. Prepper, you weren't notified? Man, YouTube has been really killing a lot of channels. They kill the smaller channels like me more than they do the big channels, because the big channels are already out there and people are going to go to them because they recognize their name. They know their name. Channels like mine, they can sort of shadow ban me and not show notifications. Heck, my wife, who is obviously subscribed to my channel, she had to resubscribe twice in the last 30 days. Twice. She lost my subscription twice in the last 30 days. And, she did not unsubscribe to me. That's all straight up YouTube's doing there. And YouTube hits channels that don't really say what they want a lot with little things like copyright strikes. I got hit with 5 copyright strikes over the last 2 months. And the copyright strikes were from music I used in my videos. And this is music I actually purchased from a site called Storyblocks online. And you purchase this music, And what happens when they copyright strike you is basically you have a chance to appeal it to begin with. And the first appeal, 90% of the time, is going to go the other way. The second appeal, you get that second appeal. And sometimes that'll go your way. And what happens, though, during this process is that your video is demonetized, right? When they first hit you with a copyright strike, if I'm not on there the moment they do that, then my video is demonetized and that money goes somewhere else. Not that it's a whole lot of money. I just try to pay my, with YouTube, I just try to cover my expenses for the music and for the clips and for this streaming software and things like that. I'm not trying to get rich off of it. But, you know, when they take your video and they basically demonetize it and make it not viewable in anywhere in the world, and this is with several of my videos right now, anywhere in the world except for in the US being monetized by that, you know, person that made that music. And then you submit, because I have licenses for any music I use. I'm not stupid. I mean, most people that make videos on YouTube, you know, we're not just randomly making videos. We understand I cannot use footage from certain places. I cannot use music that I did not purchase the rights to, so I don't try to. I mean, that would just be counterproductive, you know, for me to put out a video using music that I know I couldn't use. And, you know, that would just be ridiculous. So I purchased my music, but I still get hit with these copyright strikes. And I don't want to get into complaining about YouTube tonight, because YouTube's a really good venue. I actually enjoy it, except for all that kind of stuff. I enjoy it because, you know, it does give us a place that we can talk and we can share some ideas before they, you know, pull the videos and stuff. And up here in Michigan, we got snow last week, believe it or not. We got snow up here. And I was talking to my wife down there in South Carolina, and she was like, no, it's like 60 degrees here. And I'm like, well, there's like an inch of snow on the ground up here. Well, probably not quite an inch, but, you know, enough to make you take notice. All right. So we talked about a little bit about, I want to make sure, Ashley, you know, if you do happen to tune into this, because I do feel bad about that I missed your the number. You gave the number first. And I remember the number is 33. You gave the number first. So, Ashley, if you're watching, send me an email, survivor@SeriousSurvivor.com, and you will get your prize. I promise you. Because I'm not on here to take advantage of nobody. I want to make sure you get what you were supposed to get, you know, from watching the video. All right. One of the things that concerns me about the future, is nuclear weapons. And y'all, if y'all watch my channel for a while, you know I talk a lot about nuclear weapons, nuclear war, EMP, solar flare, CME, things like that. And I talk that for a reason. It's not to, I don't put up nuclear war to scare somebody. I put up nuclear war to prepare somebody. Because unless you are in the area that this actually happens in, unless I'm downtown New York when that nuke goes off, if I'm way out of the city, I'm going to survive. And I need to know how to survive. And that's the whole purpose of my videos when I do that, is to survive an event after it happens. And nuclear war, I think, is becoming more possible than it's ever been in the past. You know, we look back at the Cold War. I was in the military during the Cold War. A lot of you were in the military during the Cold War. And we know that during the Cold War, there was this threat of nuclear war. But here's the difference between the Cold War and now. Difference was there was two players on the block. There was America, there was Russia. That was it. And we were basically at odds with each other. And in the end, Russia caved. And it wasn't because they didn't have the will. It was because they didn't have the money. And they broke financially. And then their federation fell apart. And Russia now, though, has regrouped. And that's something we got to really look at. Putin has been, and a lot of people will underestimate Vladimir Putin. I do not underestimate Vladimir Putin. And I'll tell you a few reasons why I don't underestimate him. And it's because Vladimir Putin, you know, he grew up an orphan. He grew up in a pretty hard part of town. He learned to fight at a pretty young age, and he became a black belt in jiu-jitsu at a pretty young age and studying other martial arts too. I've actually researched his life. That's why I know this. Putin went into the ranks, so he went into the government. And after a few years in the government, Putin went into what we would consider the CIA, right? The Russia's version of the CIA. And he advanced. Putin has been president of Russia. I want you to think about this. For how long? For how long? All right. In Russia, in the United States, you can only serve 2 terms as president of the United States. In Russia, you can only serve 2 terms consecutively. Putin served 2 terms consecutively, then became the prime minister of Russia, then went back to the president of Russia. So this guy has been in charge of Russia for the last 30 years. And Putin is not a joke, okay? Biden wants to get on TV and he wants to talk about, well, we're not going to take any junk off Putin. Well, Putin, honestly, Putin is not one to play with. And what I mean by that is we got to take this threat seriously. Russia has advanced, and they've made this public knowledge. Russia has advanced their military research into nuclear capabilities by billions of dollars in the last few years. You know what we've done with ours? We've cut it. The Biden administration also wants to cut our military spending by another 10%. By another 10%. Let me read you an article here. I would share my screen, but I realized that sharing my screen, it looks like gibberish on there. So I'm just going to read this off to you real quick, and then we'll talk about it. The U.S. primary nuclear weapon on U.S. soil is what's called the Minuteman nuclear weapon. The Minuteman is a U.S. land-based intercontinental ballistic missile system, ICBM, and it's in service with the Air Force Global Strike Command. As of 2021, the LGM-30G Minuteman III version is the only land-based ICBM in service in the United States and represents the land leg of the U.S. Nuclear Triad. The U.S. Nuclear Triad, when we talk about the Nuclear Triad, what we're talking about is land-based attacks, water or subsurface attacks, submarine or naval attacks, and Air Force attacks. That's the triad: land, air, water. And this is what we've got. This is what we've got to defend us on this front. Development of the Minuteman began in the mid-1950s when the research indicated that a solid fuel rocket motor could stand ready to launch for long periods of time, in contrast to the liquid-fueled rockets that require refueling or fueling before launch, and so might be destroyed in a surprise attack. Now, think about the difference, when you watch it launch on TV, a lot of these are liquid-fueled rockets. They're fueled up before, they launch, and then they launch into space, launch their satellite, whatever. These Minutemen are solid fuel rocket motors. So that means we can put them in storage for 30, 40, 50 years, and they should, in theory, still be good. The Minuteman entered service in 1962. What year is it? It's 2021. Okay, so if we do the math on that, we're looking at almost a 60-year difference from when we first developed this type of missile to where we are now. And that's the scariest thing. By the 1970s, 1,000 Minutemen were deployed. This force has shrunk to 400 Minutemen III missiles as of September 2017. And that is really what's disturbing. That's what's disturbing. And it's disturbing for a couple of reasons. Russia and China being those 2 reasons. Russia makes no secret that they are taking their nuclear arsenal and they are making it more modern than it ever has been. We're sitting here with all of our land-based ICBMs with technology that was built in the 70s and 80s. The 70s and 80s. Russia and China are building weapons now with technology they have now. And this technology they have now, we all know. Look at your cell phone now. Think about 1970. Think about the advancements that's been made since your phone that's hanging on the wall. You pick up, it's got a cord on it. You talk to your neighbor. But and now your cell phone, you can do anything in the world. You can view anything. You can talk to anybody worldwide. These advancements are astronomical. I mean, the advancements we've made in the last half century are unbelievable. And for us to still rely on the same type of nuclear weapon, the same type, more importantly, the same type of missile delivery system that we've relied on for the last 50 years, it's just not going to suffice. It's not going to work. It doesn't take, we know the largest nuke ever detonated in the world was a Tsar bomba from Russia, a 50 megaton nuclear weapon. They actually had a 100 megaton prototype of that, but they could not figure out how to get stage 3 to ignite properly. But a 50 megaton warhead is unimaginable. That's unimaginable. If you've watched my nuclear war videos, I base all those videos off of a 100 kiloton warhead, which is basically our Minuteman 3. So you multiply that times 500 to equal 50 kilotons, and you'll see the damage that you'll see from there. A 50 kiloton warhead will take out a state. It will take out a state. Not a city, not an area, but an entire state. Save yourself, you're right. Canada really is hurting the U.S. right now. Canada's hurting the U.S. with their lack of trade restrictions. The countries and companies that we don't necessarily do business with, or we say these may be terrorists or these may be detrimental to the U.S., they're not allowed in the U.S., but they're allowed in Canada. And then they can be brought right down the interstate, right here where I live, near Detroit, right across the bridge and right here. And this nuclear situation is getting to the point that, if things continue, if we just keep rolling for another 3 or 4 years, we're going to see this. We're going to see some type of nuclear war. Now, maybe it won't begin as an all-out nuclear war. It'll begin with a small strike somewhere, followed by a retaliatory strike somewhere. And maybe some time will pass, another strike, followed by another. And then eventually it will lead to something like that. Mankind, we have tried to destroy ourselves since we've been here. And it's no different now. Now, Russia's also made some very bold statements when it comes to Ukraine and their troops in the Arctic. And some of these statements one in particular was where Putin actually came out on TV and said, if anybody crosses Russia, then basically you're in trouble. And his words were, if anybody crosses the line with Russia, then you're in trouble. And Russia will be the ones that define where the line is. And guess what? That's true. You know why? It's because we got an administration that don't know what they're doing. And, I wish I was wrong on that. I'm not throwing off on Biden, or maybe I am. But the thing is this, facts are facts. We sit here and we watch what's going on in front of us. We see how other nations in the world are reacting to us. I talk to people in my job. I talk to people all over the world. And I have never in my life had to defend myself as an American citizen verbally like I do now. Now it's like, America's fallen. America's a cesspool now. Look at what y'all are doing. And you know what? They're right. They're right. Look at what we're letting these politicians do to our country. Look at what we're letting them do to our country. Look at how far this country has come or has fallen in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years. And this is going to tie into what I'm talking about later, because when it comes to defund the police, we're going to spiral down even more. We're going to spiral down even more. And, I've heard a lot of statements on YouTube. Heard a lot of people say, Canada and the U.S., they're basically the same. Well, that might be what a Canadian says, but that's not what the hell an American's going to say, and I don't mean no offense to them, but it's not the same. Canada's letting a lot of people in right now and a lot of people through that they shouldn't be. And we're going to see the effects of that very, very soon. On a scale of 1 to 5, a scale of 1 to 5, just for everybody's watching right now, how likely do you think a nuclear war is in the next 2 years? Scale of 1 to 5. Let's see what the consensus is on this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What I see so far is, I see a lot of things, 2.5. I see a 2, a 2.5. And I see everything else above it. I see a 0.5 there, a 0.5, Dan. And, Jason, I agree. An EMP may be more probable. I mean, think about this. What better way to affect a nuclear attack than to detonate an EMP first? Okay. People worry about EMP. And that's a huge concern. I'm not playing that off. But imagine if an EMP hit, knocks out our communications, and then it's followed by a nuclear attack. These countries, just like back in World War II, the United States and Germany were in a race to develop nuclear weapons. Whoever developed them first was going to use them. And that showed. We got them first, we used them. And nukes are not there as just a deterrent. They're there as a way to reduce the population. And it's a very good possibility we will see nukes. Because contrary to popular belief, nukes don't always cause nuclear winter. They don't always cause nuclear fallout. You detonate a nuclear weapon as an airburst. As long as that fireball does not touch the ground, there is no fallout. And that is out there on the internet from MIT. Go to MIT and check that out. And EMP, all right, Dan, yeah, I'm going to touch on that in a second. But, nuclear weapons whose fireball does not touch the ground will not cause radioactive fallout. So don't think that, people won't use nukes because the world will be ruined. No, it won't be ruined. They're going to use airbursts. They're going to take out the cities, and then they're going to come in and mop up. An EMP attack going to, I don't have my glasses on. That's Dan Goodrich. It looks like Goodrich. I'm going to put that up. Let's do that. Because I want to talk about that for just a second. Right there. All right. Is an EMP, well, hold on. I hit the wrong person. Sorry, y'all. Right there. All right. Is an EMP, I thought an EMP was a nuke attack. And that's a yes and no. That's a yes and no. In the traditional sense, a nuclear weapon will cause an electromagnetic pulse. That's absolutely 100% true. Every nuclear weapon that's detonated will cause an electromagnetic pulse. But that pulse, depending on how big that weapon is, what type of weapon it is, where it's detonated, that pulse will not range that far if that weapon is detonated anywhere near the surface. Now, for an EMP to be at its most efficient, you're going to have the widest part of that blast radius, the widest part of the radius actually contact the surface of where you're trying to burst. And that's what, a high altitude burst cause an EMP. And that's why you'll hear the term HEMP, HEMP, high altitude electromagnetic pulse. because what this does is this is like you're talking like 20,000, 30,000 feet above, ground level there. And when a nuclear weapon is detonated with sufficient magnitude at that point, then it's going to not cause nuclear effects as far as fallout, as far as radioactive damage, but it's simply going to energize the particles in the air. And this is called the Compton effect, which energizes electrons in the air, which pushes them through the air just like electricity, basically, and it fries your sensitive electronic components. You can protect against this. One of the ways to protect against it is if you know it's coming, turn your devices off, unplug them from the wall. The second way to protect it is a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is a very simple device in its concept. And what I mean is all a Faraday cage is something around the object you want to protect that will absorb this electrical energy and dissipate it to ground. So a cage, basically, some people even talk about microwaves work. You can put your device in a microwave, put it in the ground, and it'll work. And I believe that. I have not tested that. But an EMP, a Faraday cage, is basically a shield around your cage that will absorb that electromagnetic pulse, that will absorb that electricity, the free-flowing electrons caused by the Compton effect, which is initiated by an electromagnetic pulse in the high atmosphere. So if you have any type of metal, it has to be a conductive metal. And you have any type of metal cage around your device that has basically a metal line running to ground, then your device will be okay. It can be a trash can. I did a video a while back that I showed a trash can on there does that. It can be a chicken wire cage. It can be a lot of different things. But you have to have it grounded. That's the most important thing, is because you're trying to intercept that, using this term loosely here, but that electricity that's flowing through the air towards your device, you're trying to intercept that with the cage around it and dissipate it to ground so it does not even touch your device. What do I think the biggest flashpoint of a nuclear attack would be? I'm going to put that question up, my friend. There. Let me see. Right here. What I think the biggest flashpoint of a nuclear attack will be. Let me ask you for just a little clarification on that first. What do you mean by flashpoint? Do you mean the starting point of an attack? Or do you mean that, the point in the attack where, I don't know, if you could elaborate a little bit, I'd love to answer that question there. Gigamesh? I'll just call you War Cat. How about that? War Cat. I like that. So if you could elaborate a little bit, I'd love to answer that question. Oh, that's a good point there. Fallen skies. Studying some war doctrine, most say nukes were made from Middle America because that's where most of our silos are, plus taking out food reproduction sites, then city. Do I think this is true? I think it's a distinct possibility, and I think it's actually a good tactic. If you think about a long-term tactic, if you're going to invade a nation, what's some of the first things you do? First thing, you kill their power. Second thing is you kill their supply chain. So if they can hit our Midwest, then they've taken out our counterstrike capabilities, and like you said there, they've taken out a lot of our supply chain when it comes to food, and that's going to make a lot of people desperate. And that's definitely true. I think if I were a tactician and I were going to strike the U.S. right now, and are worried about just targets as opposed to trying to get past the missile defenses, my first strikes will be on the East Coast. And the reason my first strikes will be on the East Coast is because that's where the majority of the military population is. And you think about it, that's where our capital is, Washington, D.C. So I'm going to strike the East Coast to pull all of our resources to the East Coast. Then I'm going to strike the Midwest and the West Coast. And then from there, that's going to spread our resources thin, and that's going to allow them for an invasion at that point. But yeah, that's something I worry about, and I don't know if I've even talked about it much on the channel, is that if they do nuke the Midwest, where most of our grain, our corn, our crops like that are grown, what are we going to do as a nation? What are we going to do as a nation then? Because that land, if they hit it with a surface blast from a nuke, there's nothing growing there for 1,000 years. If they hit it with an air burst, yeah, we can grow next season. But if they hit it with a surface burst, and they're smart enough to know the difference, then we're not going to grow there again, not in our lifetimes, not in our kids' lifetimes, not in our grandkids' lifetimes. Are you safe in Oklahoma? All right, I saw a couple of comments about Oklahoma. Now, I did mention Oklahoma in the title. Sometimes my titles, I try and just talk about, put in there the things I'm going to talk about, and sometimes it sounds like they're all tied together. Oklahoma, I was going to talk about a couple of different things, and that leads more of a domestic dispute that we're going to look at here in a minute. Aaron, you're right. Iran has eyes on Israel above all. And here's the thing, just the other night we saw on TV, on the news, how Israel was attacked with some missiles coming from the Gaza Strip, and they retaliated with a bunch of missiles going back to there. Of course, that kind of information, it depends on where you read, what you read. It's different, but the facts remain that missiles are fired from one side, and missiles will return from the other. And Iran makes no secret about two things they brag about on TV every day, and that's that they're going to kill Israel and wipe them out, and they're going to kill the U.S. and wipe them out. So whether this current administration wants to retain our ties with Israel, because this current administration, I see us pulling like the Obama administration, that's further away from Israel and towards, just to put it, towards the opposite side of the spectrum there. This administration has got me worried more than any administration than we've ever seen. Look how far left it's gone so far. I mean, you got members of Congress that can't even meet with the president, and they talk about this all the time. They can't get a meeting with the president. We, as American people, cannot even get a press conference from this president. The last president gave them every day. The one before that, I didn't give Obama credit. He gave a lot of press conferences. But look at Biden. How many press conferences has he come out there and he actually given since he's been in office? He's been in office over 100 days now. And remember what he said? Oh, wear a mask for 99 days, then you can take them off and everything will be okay. Oh, guess what? You still got to wear your mask. Now, one bit of news, the CDC is supposed to be coming out tomorrow with information or with a new stipulation on masks are no longer required in outdoor areas, which from a common sense standpoint, just common sense, tells me, why were they ever required? Why was I ever required to wear a mask in my front yard? Why were you required to wear a mask in your front yard? Why are you required to wear a mask driving down the road in your car by yourself? And I sort of like being on YouTube, so I try not to say too much there because they will ban you. And here's something funny. On Facebook, I really don't like Facebook. I really don't like it at all. But, I still do have a page there, a couple of pages there. But a friend of mine who's a liberal, and, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a Republican, but I'm not like the mainstream media that I'm going to look at this guy and say, well, you got different political views than me and I hate you. No, man, this guy's a pretty cool guy. We have a lot of fun just running our mouths together. But he does have completely different political views than me. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because of a post that he put on Facebook today, as opposed to a post that I put on there a couple months ago that got pulled. His post on there today was a post that said, the Biden administration has now approved a law that will result in 0% income tax for anybody making $0 to $100,000 a year. Okay. Really? Okay, so he posts that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not going to be there long, because if they fact check that, that's certainly not true, because for my next video, I actually been researching Biden's tax laws, and they are pretty severe towards the middle class. But anyway, nothing happened. He didn't get pulled. But, everything I've posted on Facebook over the last few months has been pulled. So, it is a one-sided thing these days, folks. It's a one-sided thing, and it's something that we really got to face. And it's not just something that we're facing, but I want you to think about the hardest part, and that's where I'm getting into next with the police and the military, is our kids. Okay. We see that there's a lot of lawsuits through this nation right now. A lot of lawsuits going on towards, education facilities that are forcing certain types of curriculum on kids, that are teaching things that are not related to school. And I'm just be honest, race theory has no place in school. A school is to teach my children ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, history, true facts of history, not somebody's distorted opinion because they want to get 1 million views on YouTube or some shit. But I mean, real facts. When's the last time your kid has learned real facts in school? Because I know it's been a while since mine have. And we've already talked about how they're grooming or attempting to groom this younger generation. And the terrible thing is this, the terrible thing about it is they've already done it. They have already done it. Look at the liberal professors that we got in some of these major universities. I used to respect a Harvard degree. I used to respect a Yale degree. These days I don't, because I know that if I went up in there and I said, the things they wanted to hear, I'm going to come out with a 4.0. I got my 4.0 in college. You know how I got it? By busting my ass, by studying, by working hard. It wasn't because I said what the professor wanted to say. And it was at a time when it didn't matter what my opinion was. These days, I probably couldn't even graduate college. I probably couldn't even finish a semester because I'm a little too outspoken to listen to what they say. And, I'm hoping that my kids are too. And that's what we got to worry about, is when we start talking about, some of the things that are being passed in front of or being put in front of our legislation these days, like defund the police. Defund the police. Take the police off the streets. That's what some groups are saying. Take them off the streets. We're going to replace them with social workers. All I can say is, I'll buy more bullets. I mean, what can you really say about stupidity like that? The only organization that we have in the United States that enforces laws on a local level, that comes and helps you when somebody's attacking you, that comes and investigates the case when somebody breaks into your house, that comes and goes after the person who raped your family member. When these people are demonized the way they're demonized, yeah, some of them are bad. Of course, some of everybody are bad. There ain't a single group or profession out there that has 100% perfection to it. Yeah, of course, there's going to be some bad cops. Guess what? There's even more bad civilians. And, I feel sorry for anybody that gets anything done to them that shouldn't be done. But I'm going to be honest on this too. And I really don't care. And the fact is, if you pull a gun on a cop, if you pull a knife on a cop and you get shot, I really don't give a crap. And the reason is because you're that stupid. The police are our form of authority. They are who take us to jail if we do something wrong, or the ones that protect us if somebody's doing something wrong against us. Now, I ain't always been, a nice guy. I've had my run-ins with the law back in my younger days. I've had my run-ins with the law, but I'll be the first to tell you that any of the things I ever did, I've done a few things. I've complied with the police officers, And the reason is because I know this. My granddaddy told me something a long time ago that made a lot of sense, and it's even more true now. He said, you might can outrun that cop, but you can't outrun that radio. I know a lot of people's probably heard that saying. And that's true. That was true back then. But imagine how true that is now. You can't outrun that cop. If I think that cop's trying to lock me up for doing something wrong and I try to run from him, well, guess what? I'm on 100 cell phones. And these idiots that do it, why would you fight against the police? Because you think you're right? No, it's because you know you did something wrong and you're trying to get away. I mean, let's just put it where it's at. I mean, I'm not a rich, privileged person by any means. I grew up poor. And I'm not ashamed of that. I grew up poor. And, I'm not rich now, but I made a living for myself. And for those out there that say the world is holding you back, then I say you're holding yourself back. Because the reality of it is, you can do in this country whatever you want to do. And if you don't do it, it's your own fault, nobody else's. I'm reading some of these comments up here, and I think I missed out on a couple, but some of them are pretty funny. But okay, let's imagine this. Let's defund the police. Let's defund them. Take all the money away from the police. There's a lot of people out there that are saying things like, hey, artist Zeno, for some reason, man, just to let you know, I approve your comments on here. YouTube is blocking them for some reason. I have to actually go over here and click on them. And you haven't been saying nothing that's, but that, like your last comment right here. I hope you don't mind, my friend. I hope you don't mind, because I want to put this up because I want to prove what YouTube's doing here. Let me scroll on down. All right, I can't find it, so I'm just going to read it. All right. It was yeah, there you go, man. YouTube thinks you're too real. That's the truth. You put up a comment a couple minutes ago, said they're trying to spark a race war. Okay, and YouTube just now blocked that on my end. I actually had to go over there and approve that. And sometimes, and for anybody out there, if you put on a comment on this channel and it doesn't show up, it's because it probably, I didn't see it scroll up in time, but YouTube blocks that stuff. Like they're trying to start a race war. They blocked that comment, man, when it's obviously what they're trying to start. They're trying to start two things. Think about the success they've already had. Okay, let's look at the coronavirus here. And, I probably shouldn't talk about it, but, oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. But let's look at the coronavirus here. All right. With the coronavirus, if you talk about the coronavirus on here on YouTube, then you run a very big risk of being banned unless you're saying one thing. And or two things. You should be scared. And you should listen to Biden or your government. Unless I'm saying that, they're going to hit me. And I know that for a fact because they hit me too many times. I make videos all the time. Y'all don't even know how many videos I've made that have got just ripped off of YouTube by YouTube itself. Oh, this is offensive content. And I'm, pretty much saying the same thing I'm saying now. And I'm thinking to myself, if it is offensive, what's that really matter? Don't I have that right? Can't I say something offensive? And people be adult enough to understand that, hey, he's got his opinion. Oh, but wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm right wing. I'm Republican. So no, I can't say any of that. If I was Democrat, I could say every bit of that. Oh, I could talk about your family. I could talk about killing people. I could talk about anything I want to talk about as long as I associate myself with Democrats. never wanted to be this political in my life, but at this point in my life, I'm going to make that stand as to what I believe and where I stand. That is such a good point, Scan family. Such a good point. I'm going to post this up here. I think I'm going to try to. This might be the wrong one. All right. Okay, hold on. That's the wrong one. Sorry there. I gotta scroll all the way down. This is sometimes a little frustrating. There we go. That's my point all along. And no amount of freedom laws are going to make a difference because criminals will not comply. And that's the absolute fact. Not many people, I have bought a lot of guns in my life. I bought a lot of knives. I bought a lot of spears. I bought a lot of swords. I have so many weapons, I can't even describe them all. But I've never went out and used one on anybody. People who are going to commit a crime are not going to go to your local gun show, and they're not going to register that stuff. It's so ridiculous. Yes, Curtis, the First Amendment is being attacked, and that's an absolute truth because I see it attacked just from running my channel right here. I see it attacked all the time. I see the fact that I'll say something that, it's not because I never incite anything. I never tell nobody to go out and hurt anybody. As a matter of fact, I say the opposite, but I never say anything to incite anything. But yet a lot of my videos get banned before they, ever really make it out there. I'll put up a video sometimes. I'll tell you what's frustrating about YouTube. You spend about 2 or 3 days editing a video, putting it together, putting it out there, and then YouTube says, nope, we remove this because your content is too sensitive or is offensive to some viewers. And I'm like, well, how about you just don't show it to them viewers and let everybody else see it? But YouTube does not have a 1-800 number to call. It's all done through email. And I'll tell you this, after 5 years on YouTube, they don't respond to emails. Yeah, falling skies. South China Sea, China is going to take that. You watch, before the end of this year, China will declare themselves owner of that entire area around your nation, around Australia there. That's going to happen. China, we see on TV, and I've even talked about Russia earlier. Russia's not the biggest threat we got. China is the biggest threat we got. China is the absolute 100% biggest threat we got on a military level, on an economic level, and on a political level. China is overtaking the world, and a lot of countries are falling in line with China. And I'll tell you why they're falling in line. Because China's giving them money. China's got the money. They got more money than we got right now. They got more money than the U.S. There's no denying that. They got more money, and they are utilizing that. They're leveraging that for their own political gain. And if something isn't done, then China will rule the world within 5 years. And the Biden administration, hold up. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, they both get paid by China. So they're not concerned with this. How many times, we don't see Biden give many press conferences because obviously he can't. He's not mentally able enough to. And we see that from the few press conferences he does give. So he's not able to give too many. But he never once said China's a threat. China's the one who stole our technology over the last decade. China's the one who's threatening us now. Yeah, Russia is too, but Russia and China are in bed together now because of what's going on. Yeah, artist Zeno, every comment you put up, I'm not really sure why, man. Every comment you put up, YouTube is flagging. And that's not bad. Like I see, you see that one right there. China rules the world already. What's wrong with that? But they flagged it. I just now had to approve it. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. We are headed towards something we don't want to be headed towards, but I am going to have to take a short break. I have to go to the restroom. I'll be right back, y'all. So hang in here because I want to talk about something. I want to connect the dots here. I want to connect the dots. And I want to do the giveaway. There we go. All right. I had to take a short break. Glad to be back. Warcat, good question. Good question about balkanization of the U.S. I've been reading a little bit about that, but I would like to get into that further later this week. Talk about it in more detail, more research detail. It did there. Where? But one of the things that bothers me about our, the society that we're faced with right now is, being 50 years old, I think back a little bit, on my life as a kid growing up, and I think about how much different it is now from these kids that are growing up now. We've seen, and New York is a primary example of this. New York City. There are a lot of court cases right now that are going on with parents against the school systems, and they're teaching this, this race theory, critical race theory. All right, first of all, they're teaching this to very young children, and when you teach things to very young children, you are not teaching them; you're forming their opinion. When you take a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, and you start telling them information like, hey, you were wrong because of what happened 200 years ago. You're wrong. They're going to carry that with them. And that is what makes me the maddest because, I got grandniece, grandnephew, I got grandkids, and they're in these schools. And they're learning things that are telling them that they are responsible for what people did 200 years ago. And nobody's going to deny slavery is wrong. Nobody's going to deny that. But I will deny I had nothing to do with that. Neither did my sons. Neither does their sons or your daughters or your kids or your nieces or your nephews. Did they have something to do with that? No, they didn't. This is 2021. Anybody that's in a situation they can't pull themselves out of is, I'm sorry, there's too many opportunities out there. And when people start talking about, systematic racism, I have to disagree with that. Because when I was in college, I went back to college the second time, and I'll tell you, the second time I went back to college, I was 37 years old. I got turned down grants. I got no scholarships. I got nothing. And the reason was because I was white. Dude, I went to high school with, I ain't going to say his last name, but his first name was Ernest. Black guy. Was friends through high school. We're still friends now. I got no problem with the dude. But with the same exact age, we went through college. He decided to come through college, just happened to be the same time I did the last time. I've got 2 degrees. So the last time I earned my degree, I was 37, my second degree. And he was 37 coming for his degree. He got so much money. You know what he did? He dropped out after the first semester because he had 10 grand in his bank account. That's a fact. I can back that up. And, the system, people want to say the system is biased. The system is racist. No, it's not. It's not racist. It's not biased. It's biased to a degree, but most people will not realize this. It's not biased because you're black or Hispanic or poor or white. It's biased if you are rich or if you are poor. Because it doesn't matter what race you are. We're all the human race. But if you want to define yourself as something else, you go right ahead. It doesn't matter what race we are. All that matters is what's in your bank account, what stocks you hold, what bonds you hold. Because if you don't hold a ton of stocks in a big company, you ain't nothing to them. It doesn't matter who you are. I grew up poor. And I seen the discrimination against poor people. And it's the same as what you're saying is against black people and Hispanic. And people cannot come together enough on this to see that it's not a race thing. It's a class thing. Do you think Bill Gates wants to live in the same apartment complex as you do? Do you really think that? No matter what race you are? It's not true. Do you think Will Smith wants to live in the same apartment complex as you? Do you think King fucking LeBron James calls himself King James wants to live in the same apartment complex as you? No, he don't. I'll tell you why. It's because he's too busy in his $1 billion mansion. And for somebody like that to weigh in on problems that affect us, American citizens, everyday people who work for their money, when that tall ass bitch is doing nothing but drawing millions of dollars playing a stupid ass game called basketball, and you some kind of public figure now, come see me. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm sick and tired of it, y'all. I don't know what to say anymore. You know, I mean, the world is getting crazy, and maybe we should get crazy with it. I mean, you know, what do we do? What do we do at this point? We see a government that's against you because you just want to live your life, work your job, and take care of your family. Government against you because of that. Artist Zeno, my man. And where they got it out for y'all, man. YouTube's got it out for you two guys. They do. Very Day Aware and Artist Zeno. Y'all, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at your comments. They just normal comments, but YouTube has it out for you because they blocking every one of them on here. I'm having to approve them, and I will approve them. But that's YouTube's doing. If you type in a comment and you see a long delay, that's not me. That's YouTube. Because I don't delay anything. I mean, I don't care if people agree with me or not. You know, they want to post their comment, post your comment. We'll talk about it. But, you know, there just comes a point to where enough is enough. I mean, how much do we have to deal with as American citizens? How much do we have to listen to? And how much do we have to bend over backwards for when we ain't done a damn thing wrong? We live our lives. We take care of our families. We try to make a living, and we just try to get by. But all of a sudden, something's wrong with what we're doing. Something's wrong with it. And they can't tell me what. Say, oh, you're racist. Am I? Really? Do you know me? And I get tired of hearing this racist or, you know, you're xenophobic and all. And I ain't phobic or nothing. Ain't nothing in this world I fear. And I'm sure a lot of you are the same, especially those of you that fought in combat like I have. You know, hey, when it comes down to it, there's only two truths in this world, and it's life or death. Are you going to live or are you going to die? You know, you going to take care of yourself or are you going to succumb and let it happen? We are faced with a situation right now that we've never been faced with in our lives. I know I haven't, and I'm not a spring chicken. So, you know, hopefully, you know, y'all know what I'm saying. People are telling our kids that we wrong. They telling our kids that we raising them the wrong way, that everything we believe in is wrong. And you know why they tell them that? It's because the people that are telling them that are the people that are in power right now, and the people that are in power are the people that have the ability to change the history books. How much has changed in history now and when you went to school? When I went to school and I learned history, it's different than what I learn now when I talk to my kids. And, you know, this is what we got to look at. You know, I'm 50. And a lot of people out there watching this are, the same age as me, or maybe younger, maybe older. I don't know. But I'm just saying this is that, I got more behind me than I got in front of me. And all I care about that's in front of me is to making sure that my kids, your kids, our kids have a future to grow up in. And there's too many YouTube channels out there just playing the BS. There's too many YouTube channels out there that are just telling you what you want to hear. And, oh, by the way, I happen to sell that product. I mean, I don't know what to say except for we got to find a way to come together. We got to find a way to stand together. I don't know that this broadcast will be broadcast after tonight, because when I say things like that, they always block it, because I did that with a few of mine. And that's all right. You know what? That's all right. It's because the people that's watching this right now, the people I'm talking to right now, are the same people I talked to a month ago and 2 months ago. The names that I see in this chat screen, it means a lot to me, y'all, that, I see the same people here. And I know that we got something in common. We got some beliefs in common. We got some, we got things we want to accomplish. And we're not going to let this new world order stand in our way. And that's what we're facing, is a new world order. Going back on the defund the police, think about that. I know we can. We can, because we got common sense. We got an intelligence. Everybody that's here right now, and I'm looking at my viewer count, all 67 of us, 68 counting me. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't still be here this long if we didn't think the same way. If we didn't think the same way. And our way of thinking is pretty simple. We want our children to have a good life. That's all we want. Take me, torture me, do what you want to do with me. My kids deserve a good life. And you know what deserve a good life? You want to know why your kids deserve a good life? It's because they did not ask to be brought in this world, and we brought them here. And here they are. I brought kids into this world that's got nuclear weapons, that's got people killing people in the streets, that's got people telling me I'm wrong, you're white, you're wrong. Screw you. I'm just a guy trying to make a living. And, if you think I'm wrong, stage 4 cancer, what can you fucking say? Come get me. But our future is our kids. And if we don't look at what's going on in this world right now, if we don't take a stand soon, if we don't stop this soon, then our children will be completely opposite of what you ever thought they would be. They will be wards of the state. They'll be raised to believe that whatever the state wants them to believe at that moment in time, because that will change. And I apologize for the profanity in this live stream, y'all, because I normally don't use any, but sort of, some of the things sort of emotional. Born in the wrong area. Warcat. Where are you from, Warcat? Orlis, I hear you, brother. I will always be a young man. Me too. At least in my mind. My body might not carry it out quite as good as it used to, but my mind, I'm still a young man. Mother Earth, 59 and holding. I hear you. Louisiana, I hear you.
Got some good barbecue down there, Louisiana, huh? Yeah, I hope I'm not offending nobody. Because my goal, I'm not on here to offend people. I'm not on here to draw, I'm not on here to fearmonger or anything like that. I'm just on here to say, we're all grown adults here. We all seen the world. We all have seen different political agendas. And we can see what's going on right now in front of us. And that's what ties into the last part of what I was going to talk about tonight, and that's vetting the military. Now, when I went in the military, I was a young man. We're talking a long time ago, but I was a young man. Delusions of grandeur. I'm going to go out and I'm going to be this soldier and fight for my country. I went in the Navy. I went EOD, Mobile Unit 6. Later, I served on a ship. But while my time with EOD, it took a lot of, I guess you say, specialized training. But more importantly than that, I got to go behind the scenes of some things that you don't see on TV. And, when it comes to a military unit, we stand side by side. And we fight as brothers and sisters. And we always have. It doesn't matter if you squid, jarhead, grunt, flyboy. Doesn't matter. And you ex-military know exactly what I meant by that. No disrespect. Squid here. Ex-squid. EOD. Mobile Unit 6. My base doesn't even exist anymore. EOD Mobile Unit 6 South Weapons Annex, Charleston, South Carolina. No longer a base. Sold off to some company who, I don't know, I guess they built a factory on it or something. But thank you, John. Learn, Joshua. Brother, that means a lot to me. I'm gonna put it up right here, man. That means a lot to me. You support the channel 100%. We all want will never happen. That's the truth. It's too late. We can only try to better our life by not following in the world. And John, my brother, that is so true. That is so true. Thank you to begin with. Secondly, yeah, you're absolutely right. We can only win this battle. We can only ever win this battle is by believing and by keeping our faith. If you don't have faith in God and Jesus, then this is going to be a hard battle for you to keep. I got my faith in God. I got my faith in Jesus. And, I ain't always been a good guy. I'm a sinner. Oh, I know my path through life don't deserve a road to heaven. But if that happens, that'd be great. And if it don't happen, then I accept those consequences. But I will still serve my Savior, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I hope that we all believe that. I mean, I could sit here and talk about things I've done, and I could sit here and talk about things that I wish I would have done. I mean, you think about this. How many times in our lives have we done something we regret? But how many more times in our life have we not done something that we should have? Just saying. I'm just a guy. Jesus is Lord. You're right. And, I'm not afraid to say that, And that's what's crazy about YouTube is like, you go watch YouTube. I watch more YouTube than I watch anything else. And that's the truth. But I turn off more YouTube than I do anything else too. And that's when people start you can tell it when you start listening to a video and some dude, some chick is talking. I'm just saying, is just talking and you can tell, oh, they're just out for views. Yeah, sure, we all love views. As YouTubers, we all love views, but I'll be honest with you. I don't expect to get rich off this, and I'm not trying to. I just hope that a few people out there can identify with me so that if we do run across each other in a bad situation, you know that I'm your friend and you're mine. And that's why I do this. It ain't for money. Sure, we all love money, but dang it, we will get by, won't we? I mean, we've all got by till now. Nobody's dead listening to this, right? We're all alive. So, we made it. And, I could use money just as much as anybody else. I ain't no millionaire. I ain't rich, nothing like that. But that's not why I do this. I do this because hopefully, I believe it or not, y'all probably don't believe this, but after I do the live stream, I come back and I watch it like 5 times, and I watch everybody's comments come down below it, and hopefully, if things do go bad one day, I'm hoping that some of the people that comment on these videos, I'll be able to identify with at that point, if that makes sense. Okay. Who is I'm not trying to ask personal information here, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna throw my personal information out here. I'm going to be in South Carolina for a whole week starting Thursday. I'd really love to get together with some people that's from Carolina too, or some people that's willing to come down. And, we just have a dinner, something like that, and just run our mouths and get to know each other. So I'm gonna be in Carolina. I'm leaving Wednesday. And my plan, oh man, this is gonna backfire because every one of my plans backfire. But I got some really good cameras, and what I was wanting to do Wednesday night is stop like halfway down and take some pictures of the Appalachian Mountains and do like a live stream. Besides the point, but once I get down to Carolina Thursday, Friday, I'd like to see if there's anybody that's actually down there that would like to go out and have a dinner, go out and have some barbecue, maybe have a couple beers, something like that. Notice my man Prepping Trucker ain't on here tonight. Prepper Trucking. I said Prepping Trucker. Prepper Trucking. I'm doing good, David. David, how you doing, brother? I'm doing good. Or, doing as good as we can. Doing good as we can. Alabama. I actually Alabama, I went out there last year. I teach classes out there at the Toyota plant they got out there. I don't remember the name of the town, but I went down there and I teach some classes. I teach people how to run robots out there and all that stuff there, Mary. And I'm trying to remember the name of that town. Sorry. I'll remember it later, but I can't remember it right now. Wolverines, Stephen. Wolverines. There we go. Hey, that's what this world needs is Wolverines. It's people that stand up and are willing to fight for what they truly believe in. How many people are willing to stand up, hold that rifle, and fight for what you believe in? A lot of people say it. Oh, I'll fight to the death. They'll never get my guns. But those are the same people that sat on their ass in Katrina and let them take their guns. And like I said, I never tried to go off on nobody, but I'm just stating facts here. Near Atlanta, Dr. Prepper, my brother, Atlanta, man. I live exit 1. Exit 1. As soon as you cross 85 in South Carolina, exit 1, I'm about 10 miles off that, brother. Maybe we will get together and have a beer. How's that sound, Dr. Prepper? Because I'd love to, man. Pell City or Lincoln? Let me look at a map real quick, and I'll give you an exact answer. Give me just a second right here. All right, hold on. It was Lincoln. Lincoln, I flew into. And I went down there once this past year, and I rented this Ford F-150 4-door truck, really nice. I liked it. Better than my truck. Well, no, I ain't going to say that because I love my truck. I don't want its feelings to get hurt. But I rented a Ford F-150 while I was down there. A pretty badass truck. But, yeah, Lincoln. Mike, yes, off Highway 11. Dude, you know how much time I've spent on Highway 11. Highway 11, that runs through Oconee County. There, Mike. Yeah, it goes up to Cherokee. It does go up to Cherokee County, but it comes right through Oconee. A lot of people overlook Oconee County, but there's some really beautiful sights there. We should do like a get together or something. All of us. Because I look at this live stream. There's like 66 people watching it right now, and to be honest, the 60 now 64. 2 people just dropped off. I guess they got mad at me. But the people that are watching it now, we're the people that talk all the time. I do at least one live stream a week, and you guys are the ones that are here with me. And maybe we could come up with some way to have like a little party. Have us like a campfire, have us like something, and we all come together, help everybody get there. And what I mean by that is, make sure everybody's got the money to get there, make sure everybody can get there, and we can all just hang out and that kind of thing. But I guess that'll be something maybe a little later. But that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Really cool. Yeah. We could, because I got some property in the mountains, and I got some property in, Westminster, South Carolina. If you guys want to look up Westminster, South Carolina on the map, got some property there outside of it too. And, we can go up there and we could just throw some tents, pan for gold, and shoot some guns and just have some fun and meet people that think the same way that we do. And that would be pretty awesome. The Sugar Bowl. Where's the Sugar Bowl going to be at now? I say we make it before they're airing, before July of August. What do you say? Come on, Aaron. let's do like I tell you what, yeah. Let's do this. Let's say August. Camping outing? Yes. Let's say hold on just 1 second. Now I'm gonna throw some dates up right here. All right. 1 second, y'all. Oh, do you know July 4th this year is on a Sunday? I am a member of the GPAA. Is anybody else out there a member of the GPAA, Gold Prospectors Association? Anybody? Because if you are, that'd be great. That'd be great. So let me know real quick. I'll sort of pause right here and wait and see. Tennessee, John. Yeah, I hear you, brother. Yeah, sure. The only way. August. Okay. A lot of people saying August. August sounds good. Guess what? My birthday is in August. August 23rd. When I was born, I was a Leo. 10 years later, they said, "Oh no, you're a Virgo now." So I guess I'm a little bit between the two. Okay. All right. Seriously, since there's some serious people on here tonight, this is really what I've been looking for, honestly, is some serious people who want to hang out and who want to, take this further. I'm going to put something together for June, July. Let me put my email in here, please. Please email me what dates you're free, please. I mean, this is, I hope I don't spell it wrong. Okay. All right. Now I spelled that very incorrectly. I'm going to show it here, right here. It's not OR at it's damn. Okay. It's pretty easy, really. It's Survivor at SeriousSurvivor.com. Survivor at SeriousSurvivor.com. Email me, please, because we really, this would really be something awesome for us to do. Is just to hang out. It's not, just that's what it'll be. We hang out, we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And we're in a safe, good location that we can have a lot of fun. We can do a lot of different things. We can shoot guns, we can fish, we can hunt, we can camp out, we can, do whatever we need to do. So, let's put that together. And honestly, I know that at this point, I've been going 2 hours and 5 minutes, that there's nobody listening to me at this point except for, those of us who do stick around for a while. And so if you're still here now, then that invitation is open to you. And I'm going to open something up at in July, August sometime. So please send me an email if you're interested. I promise I will get back to you. It might take a day or two because I'm a little slow at that sometimes. Please don't take no offense to that. I'm just a guy, I'm just trying to get by. But we'll have a blast. We'll have a blast. It'll be a lot of fun because there's a lot of mountains up there, and we can learn a lot about survival. All right. Okay. So off that subject, it has been over 2 hours. I need to do the giveaway. So the giveaway tonight we know is a Johnson & Johnson 140 piece first aid kit. Is this a good kit? I say, yes, it is a good kit. Is it as good as a kit you can put together on your own? Of course, it is not. Remember, anything you ever do on your own is better than something somebody will package for you. All right, but we're going to do it anyway. All right, I'm going to write down a number right here. And this number will be between 1 and 100. And whoever gets this number gets the prize. All right, and go. Between 1 and 100. Okay, not quite. No. Nope. Nope. Close. Somebody's close. Oh, very, very close. Very close. Oh, come on, y'all. Oh, everybody's all around it. Nobody's at it yet. There was one real close. Remember, it's between 1 and 100. No. Oh, really close, but not there. Oh, close again. Close again. Oh, really close, but no. Oh, there we go. Be spooky. Let me make sure. Be spooky. 43. 4 times 10 plus 3. All right. Let me find the right one here. I'm going to post it up here. Be spooky. So you spooky? All right. Let me go up. Okay. Oh, I didn't see this comment until now. But before I go any further, I'm going to address this because this was a super chat comment. And I did not, for some reason, I did not see this. David, are you still there? Let me make sure you're still there. Are you there, brother? David Mashburn Cougar. Let me make sure. Trying to find this on here. All right. All right. Be spooky. You won that one. And I will post my email address in a minute, and you can email me, and I'll get that product out to you. David Mashburn Cougar. What do you think about the FCC crackdown on personal drones? It's like they don't worry about you having one if they can't completely track it. And that is an outstanding point. That is an outstanding point. The FCC just passed a lot of regulations concerning drones. And here's the distinction. Here's the major distinction. Personal and business. All right. If I work for Amazon, then now it is legal for me to fly a drone over your house, film everything, and, fly over people, fly within restrictions. That's legal now. But if you do not work for a big company, if you are a personal drone user, then you are still subject to the old FCC regulations. And that, in my opinion, is wrong. Why does Amazon get to fly a drone above my house if I can't fly a drone above Jeff Bezos' house? Screw Jeff Bezos or Bezos or whatever, however he wants to say his name. It don't matter because I'll smack him all the same. But just sorry, just saying. But we are restricted to how we can use our drones, but big companies are now unrestricted how they can use their drones. And if you think that's a lie, order something on Amazon tonight and have a drone deliver it tomorrow. It'd be at your house. That's not legal for me to do as a individual drone user. All right, so we have a winner for tonight's prize, and I will put my email address up here. And just make sure, please send me an email. I get these out as soon as I can, but I ain't gonna lie either. It's usually on Fridays before I ship them out. All right. All right. Survivor@SeriouSurvivor.com. All right. We talked about a good bit tonight. I didn't even get into the military vetting. And there's sort of a reason I didn't get into that. Is because this is a somewhat divided subject. And I want to be able to present some absolute facts when I bring this up. But for those, like me, my granddaddy fought World War II. Got his leg blowed off there. He fought there. Got his leg blowed off the beaches of Normandy. Every man in my family has fought in every war that's been fought for this nation, including myself. So, I'm a little biased towards that. Obviously I'm gonna be, but want to really look at some more in-depth subjects on that when we come back, when we talk about this. But I do want to say happy Monday to everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a great night. I hope you have a great week. I'm going to try to do a live cast. I'm going to be halfway through the Appalachian Mountains Wednesday night. So I was sort of thinking about doing a live cast there Wednesday night, sort of with a overview of the mountains there. Let me know what you think about that, because if a lot of people like to see that, I would love to do it. But at the same time, I don't want to bore anybody, because I'll be driving all day. I won't have no new information for anybody. It'll just be basically like scenery at that point. After that, when I get to Carolina, I'm going to be doing some product reviews, some pretty good stuff in there. These aren't just random product reviews. These are reviews on products that I bought that I thought, if they work good, they'll help me in a survival situation. So we're really going to see if they help us or not, because I got no ties to them. I want to say thanks a lot to everybody that watched tonight. I want to say thanks for your patience because this was a 2 hour and 17-minute long stream, live stream. But for those that are within my area down there, South Carolina, then I'm serious when I say I really would like to, formulate a better bond with people down there. I got a lot of family. My great granddaddy had 26 kids. So I got a lot of family down there. And, who knows? We can all, work together and do what we need to do, not only to survive, but to thrive. I want to say thanks a lot for watching tonight and listening to me. If you've been in here this long, you've been listening to me for a while. God bless you. God bless you all. Thanks a lot. And for now, Serious Survivor, out.